Hello guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to be configuring SVTI, and we're also going to be configuring DVTI with IKEv version 2. On the previous video we did the same lab that we have right here, but we did it with IKEv version 1. So why use IKEv version 2, right? Well, IKEv version 2 has a lot of more benefits than IKEv version 1. The first one is denial of service attack resilience. It offers EP and it has better sequencing. It offers the same engine option for IPv4 and IPv6. Um, I believe Ike version 1 uses the peer detection, so that's all the same, but at least a lot better overall. It also has asymmetric pressure key authentication. It adds that, and it just has better um, encryption mechanism or encryption algorithms with elliptic curve. Okay, so. And the difference between SVTI and DVTI is that it's for whenever you're going to configure a SVTI tunnel, you need to configure it in an interface. So if you're going to configure a SVTI for 4 routers, right, you're going to configure an SVTI connection for on 4 different interfaces. But if you're going to use DVTI, the tunnels provide an on-demand separate virtual access interface for each VPN session. So for all the VPN sessions, we are only going to use this interface, and this interface is going to be providing separate virtual access interface for each VPN connection that we're going to be having with R1, R2, and R3. And like I said on the previous video, we configure SVTI versus DVTI with IKE version 1. So if you want to go ahead and take a look at the video, you can go ahead and do that. So the first thing that we are going to, or that I'm going to be configuring is going to be um, the SVTI between the hub and router 4. So let's go ahead and do that. Do that real quick. Config T, and inside right here, let's go ahead and do ping. See if we have connectivity first between router 4 and router and the hub. Yeah, we do. That's good. Otherwise, we won't be able to communicate with it. So the first thing that you want to do with in IKE version 2 is you want to configure the IKEv2 proposal. And we are going to be calling this proposal SVTI. SVTI. There we go. And inside here, we need to provide the encryption. We are going to use 3-dash integrity or AKA hashing. We are going to be using MD5. And the default helmet group number is going to be default helmet group 2. Then we need to go ahead and configure crypto IKEv2 policy. And we are going to be calling this policy SVTI. SVTI. And over here, we're just going to say to match any FVRF, any. And we are going to do the match proposal. And we need to attach that proposal that we just configured, which was called PROL SVTI. Okay, match propose, match proposal. Is that how it is? Match, oh no, just say proposal and then put in the proposal that we configure. There we go. After that, it is done. We need to go ahead and configure the keyring, the IKEv2 profile. Um, then after we configure the IKEv2 profile, we do need to configure um, the IPSec profile, and we also need to configure that transform sets. So let's go ahead and do that. So crypto IKEv2 keyring, we are going to be calling this keyring SVTI, SVTI. There we go. The peer, we are in the hub, so the peer is going to be router 4. And in here, what we need to do is we need to do the address of the peer of router 4, just 30.1.1.2. Then we need to do the pre-share key local, CCMP security. We're going to keep it like that. Pre-share key remote. We're just going to have the same CCMP security. Exit. So we are done with that. Now we need to go ahead and configure crypto IKEv2 profile. And we are going to be calling this uh, profile SVTI. And in here, we need to do the authentication local. We're using a pre-share key. And then the authentication for the remote, we're also using a pre-share key. We want to do a match identity for the remote user. It's going to be 30.1.1.2. Oh, I always forget to put address in front of it. And then we do identity local. Address is 30.1.1.2 or 30.1.1.1 because it is a local. IP address, we need to change this to 1. That's why I got confused because I was looking at the IP address. Okay, then we need to say the keyring local, and we want to attach that keyring that we just configured, and we call it keyring SVTI. Attach it right there. Um, so that is good. Then after we do that, what we need to do is we need to, okay, keyring local, match identity, keyring, that's good. After that is done, we need to go ahead and configure um, the IPSec. So we want to do a crypto IPSec transform set, and we're going to be calling this T SVTI. And we're going to use ESP, AES256, ESP, SHA with HMAC. We're going to use the default for that. Then we're going to do the crypto IPSec profile. We're going to be calling this profile SVTI. And in here, you need to set the transform set, which we call T SVTI. And you also need to set the IKEv2 profile, which we call um, profile SVTI, the same as the IPSec profile. It doesn't really matter. There we go. That is done. Then we want to go into the tonal interface, which we are just going to be calling this for. Um, so we need to do the tonal address or the tonal. Actually, the IP is going to be the number. So if we do a do show IP interface brief, we're going to be taking IP loopback number 9. So IP or number is going to be loopback 9. Tunnel destination, because it is a point-to-point, we need to do the destination, which is 30.1, 30.1.1.2. Tunnel source, which is going to be gigabit 0/2. Tunnel mode is going to be IPsec with IPv4, right? And then after that, we need to do just add the tunnel protection, IPsec profile, and that IPsec profile, we name it profile SVTI. There we go. ISACamp is now on. The interface is still down because we need to configure it in router 4. So let's go ahead and just show run section crypto. So if you do that, you're going to see everything we have configured. So we are just going to copy and paste all of this into router 4. So let's go ahead and copy it. I'm just going to open LeafPad. If you have Windows, you can just use Notepad. That is fine. We need to change this to 1, this to 2. Mode is tunnel, group. Oh, that is good. This one we need to change it to peer is going to be the hub. Address is going to be 1. So 1, remote identity, good. Local identity, good. So that is done. Then I want to do a shell run. I want to copy that tunnel interface. which was, see if we can find it. It is right here, tunnel 4, right? Since we just want to copy and paste because it is basically almost the same configuration. We just got to change the IP addresses. For the loopback, we got to see. I think it's loopback 4, but I'm not sure. Destination is going to be 1. There it is. So let's go ahead and bring up that router 4 and do a show IP interface brief and verify that we're going to be using loopback 4. Yes, we are. Loopback 4. There we go. Let's go ahead and copy all of that good stuff in here. Let's go to config T, paste all of it in there. There we go. ISAC amp is on. The interfaces are up and running. One thing that I forgot to do is that we need to add the EIGRP configuration. So let's go ahead and do a router EIGRP. Which is going to be 4. Let's just do another summary. Network, we are going to add my network, which is 4.4.4.4. And it doesn't matter that it is not in the same network. It's still going to form a network relationship, which is really cool to see that. Router EIGRP. Remember, EIGRP needs to match the autonomous system, otherwise it won't work. Network 9.9.9.9. There it is, network relationship form and show IP EIGRP neighbors. Good. Show IP route EIGRP. Good. There we go. If you want to do a show crypto IKEv2 SA, because it's not ISACamp anymore. ISACamp is for IKEv version 1. We are going to do IKEv2 because we're using IKEv2, right? There we go. We have the configuration of the local IP address, remote IP address. Um, the status is ready. And for the to see IKE version 2, phase 2, you just do IPSec. It is the same stuff that we are configuring. And you can see the tone over here. We have sent some um, traffic already because we're using EIGRP, which sends hello packets. You can see details. You want to see the details. Also, if you want to do IKE version 1 detail, you can see all the detailed information of it, which gives you local IP address, remote IP address, and the port number 500 because we're not using NAT transversal. If you're using NAT transversal, we are going to use ports 4500. We are using 3 DES for encryption for PRF. MD5 for hashing is MD596. Deal for Herman group number 2. We are using pre-share key to authenticate. To verify that authentication, we are also using pre-share key. And there it is, guys. We have configured SVTI. Now, it's coming. What we need to configure is that DMVPN, not a DMVPN, the DVTI. So dynamic virtual tunnel interfaces is what we're going to configure, and we are going to have a couple of spokes. So this one is going to be a hub to spoke configuration. So let's go ahead and start with that. So to do that, the only one that's going to be a little bit different is going to be the hub configuration, which is going to have a virtual template configure. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with this configuration. And for this configuration, we are going to be using the default proposal and the default policy. So we are not going to touch that. We are going to go straight to the keyring configuration. So before we do that, we need to do a virtual interface virtual template, and it's going to be called virtual template 8, and it's going to be a type of tunnel. Let's go ahead and do show IP interface brief so we can see which IP address we are going to be using. We are going to be using loopback 8. So IP our number, loopback 8. Okay, and let's also configure the tunnel mode. We are going to we're going to use actually IPSec with IPv4. How about that? There we go. And like I said, we are going to keep the default proposed on the default policy, so we don't have to touch that. Then we are going to just jump straight to the crypto IKEv2 keyring, and we are going to be calling this keyring DVTI. Okay. And here we need to actually have a couple pairs. The first pair is going to be router 1, then router 2, then router 3. So let's go ahead and do that. Pair R1 is going to have an address of, it's going to be the NBMA IP address. So it is 92.1.10.1. .1.10.1. Then we're going to say that pre-share key, the remote CCNP security. Pre-share key for the local CCNP security. Now let's go ahead and configure pair 2. It's going to have an address of 20.1, and we are going to be keeping the same local and the same remote configuration or pre-share key. Then we're going to use configure pair 3, and we are going to say that this one is 30.1 because that's what it is. Remote is going to be the same. Local is going to be the same. Good. Now we need to go ahead and configure crypto IKEv2 profile. And that IKEv2 profile, we need to attach all these um, we need to attach those identities, those remote identities, all three of them, router 1, router 2, and router 3, the local identity. Then we have to do the keyring. We need to attach the keyring. And then we also need to attach that virtual template that we just configured. So let's go ahead and do that. Profile. Why don't we just do IKEv2 profile, and then we're going to say the DVTI. Enter. Now let's go ahead and do match identity remote address 192.1.10.1 for router 1. Then we need to do another one. It's going to be 20.1 for router 2 and 30.1 for router 3. Then we need to do the identity of the local address, which is going to be 192.1.80.1, which is right here. All right, you following me? Then we do a keyring local, and we attach our local keyring that we configure, keyring dash DVTI. There we go. Then we need to do the virtual template that we just configured, and it was virtual template number 8. You follow me? Okay, good. So what's next, guys? If you say that the transform set is next, then you are correct. Let's go ahead and do a crypto IPSec transform set T DVTI VTI ESP AES 256 with ESP SHA and HMAC. We're going to leave the mode the default. Then what's next? We got to do a crypto IPSec profile. We're going to say IPSec profile for the DVTI. And inside here, we need to set the transform set, which we call TDVTI. And we also need to set the IKEv2 profile, which we call, it was a long name, IKEv2 profile DVTI. There we go. Looking good, looking good, looking good. So after that is completed, why don't we just go ahead and do the EIGRP configuration, router EIGRP. This one is going to be 8. No auto summary. My network is going to be my loopback address that I enter in that. I'm sorry, that I enter for my template, for my virtual template. There we go. So that is good. After that is done, we need to go ahead and attach we need to go into the um, virtual template, and we need to go ahead and attach that IPSec profile. So we need to go into the interface, virtual template, 8 type tunnel. And here we need to do the tunnel protection IPSec profile, and we need to attach that IPSec profile that we configure. There we go. ISACamp should come up or not. It did not come up, so let's go ahead and do a no IP split horizon EIGRP 8. ISACamp is still not up. Let's go ahead and do and show IP. Let me go ahead. Give me 1 second. I need to put the baby asleep, so just give me 1 second. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, guys, and the baby is asleep, and I can keep configuring. So the last thing that I saw was the virtual tunnel interface did not come up for ISACamp, and I believe it's not supposed to come up until I configure the other spokes. But let me just do a show IP interface brief, verify virtual template is good, but it is down. That's fine. Let's go ahead and just configure the spoke, and we're going to configure spoke router 1 and see if it comes up. And if it doesn't come up, then we need to troubleshoot. So we have to configure router 1, router 2, and router 3. Let me open them bad boys up. Router 4, we can put all the way on the back. We are done with that. So we want to do a show run section crypto because we are going to be copying and pasting. We don't want to be configuring everything over and over, correct? Yep, correct. So as you can see right here, we have two configuration for the hub because we configure the SVTI as well as the DVTI for IKEv2. So what we need to do is we just need to, let's go ahead and just copy all of this, and we can just go ahead and delete the stuff that we don't need. Like for crypto SVTI, so anything that has SVTI in it, we are going to remove it, like the proposal and the policy. We do not need any of that because we're using the default um, the default and the default proposal and the default policy. So we don't need to configure any of that. The SVTI keyring, we also need to remove it from here. The peers, we are only going to be using one peer, and it's going to be connecting to the hub, and that IP address of the hub is 192.1.80.1. Pre-share key, local, all that stays there. We can remove this because we are not going to be connecting with router 2 or router 3. It's only going to be connecting to the hub. Now the IKEv2 profile, profile SVTI, we also need to remove that. So let's go ahead and remove that because we are using the DVTI for this. Um, let's go ahead and this says profile is incomplete. No local. Oh, okay. So here's an issue. So if we go, we forgot to do we did profile incomplete in the local remote. Okay, so I forgot to do something over here. Config team. Let's go ahead and go into the IKEv2 profile. And over here, we need to do the authentication method um, for the local pre-share key. And the authentication method for the remote is also going to be pre-share key. And we can go ahead and copy this and just paste it into the profile configuration, remote. There we go. So now for the match identity remote, we need to remove all of this, and we only need to add one, and it's going to be for the hub. We are not going to have a template, so we can go ahead and remove that template. Keyring DVTI is going to stay there. The transform set SVTI needs to be removed. And the IPSec profile SVTI needs to be removed as well. And we are just going to keep this transform set, DVTI, and this IKEv2 profile DVTI. Good. So now, after that is configured, we need to go ahead and configure the tunnel interface. So this one is going to be just a tunnel interface. It's not going to be a virtual template like for the hub. So from here, we need to do the tunnel source that we are going to have is gigabit 0, gigabit 00, right? And then I don't think I configured that for the hub. Let me verify that from the hub and show, let's just do and show run. And let's go ahead and see at that virtual interface configuration. And where is that bad boy? There we go. Did I do a source? It doesn't look like I did a source. I believe we got to do have a source there. Config T, paste, tunnel, source, gigabit 00. There we go. That should work. So then from here, we need to do the tunnel destination as well because destination, because from the R1 to the hub is going to be a, it's going to be a point to point, right? Because it's going to be a hub to spoke. So it's going to be a point to point. Therefore, we need to do a tunnel destination. 192.1.80.1. We need to do the tunnel mode, which we set to IPSec with IPv4. And then the tunnel protection, we need to set to IPSec profile. And we need to set that IPSec profile that we have configured, which is IPSec profile DVTI. Good. And anything else we have to do? IP on number. IP on number is going to be lookback 0. All right, let me see. We got tunnel mode, source, destination, IP on number, lookback. I believe it's lookback 0, but we can verify that by doing a show IP interface brief, and there it is, IP loopback, right? So we have all of that. After that has been configured, we need to do a router EIGRP. I believe it was EIGRP 8. We can verify this from the hub. Show IP protocols. You can do show IP protocols. You can see that EIGRP 4 has the 9 and EIGRP 8 as network as let me see, where is the network? Here we go, network 8. So no auto summary, network 1.1.1.1. There we go. So let's verify my configuration. Tunnel source, destination, IPsec, protection, IP on number. We are looking good. We can just go ahead and copy all of this. Then we can go ahead and paste it on router 1, config T. Let's go ahead. If I get any errors, I shouldn't. IP on number. I guess I don't know how to spell. So let's go ahead and interface tunnel 8. IP on number, loopback 0. So I spelled this one incorrectly. That's why it didn't work. Copy. IP on number. We can just go ahead and select all of it again and do it again. There we go. I didn't see ISACAM come up. It looked like it did. Let's go ahead and do and show IP interface brief. We can see that the tunnel interface, it is down. Okay, let's go ahead and do some config T. Config T, we want to do interface tunnel 8. Sometimes you can just do a shutdown and then do no shutdown. There we go. Our second was off. Now it is on. Interface is back up. Show IP interface brief. Tunnel 8 is still down. Yep, it is down. So we can do some, yep, and we did not get that access over here. So let's go ahead and do some troubleshooting. So this show IP or show crypto IKEv2. Let's see if the phase 1 was configured. So IKEv2 SA, we don't see any IKEv2 SA over here. Um, okay. So if we don't have any show IKEv2 SA, that is not a good sign. Let's see what we have. So the peer was a hub, IKEv2 keyring, local, CCNP security. Oh, there we go. Local identity. This needs to change to 20.1. So if we go ahead and remove this, copy all of this. Also do a config T interface tunnel 8. Let's go ahead and do shutdown for now. X and then do this right here again. But we changed the local address to 192.1.20.1. Interface tunnel 8. Let's do no shutdown. We are going to do no shutdown now for that tunnel interface. If it ever lets me do it, there we go, no shutdown. There we go, IPSec amp is now on. Tunnel interface came up and it never went down, right? Do show IP interface brief. It is still down. It said that it came up. I never saw it going back down, but it is down. Show crypto IKEv2 SA. I don't see anything. Okay, let's go do a show run section crypto. And let's verify my configuration. We have the keyring, which is going to the hub. We have the address of the hub. We have a pre-shared key for the local CCNP security, remote CCNP security, crypto IKEv2 profile, remote IP address 192.1.80.1, identity for the local 192.1.20.1, local pre-shared key, remote pre-shared key, keyring, DVTI keyring, good, tunnel mode, transform set T DVTI, and set IKEv2 profile, IKEv2 profile. Okay, looks like it is good in R1. Let's go ahead and do it from the hub. Show crypto IKEv2 or show. Let's just go ahead and do show run section crypto. From here, it's going to show me both, so that's fine. We can just go ahead and do for keyring peer 1 CCNP security 192 192.10.1. Okay, I see something wrong. So it's not 20.1, it has to be 10.1. Keep So let's go ahead and go into that crypto config T. No local identity 20 identity local address 192.1.10.1. That's how it needs to be. Interface tunnel 8 shutdown, no shutdown. ISACAM came on. Interface is up, but I don't think it worked. Show IP interface briefs, probably going to show that it's down. Do show IP interface brief. Yep, it is still down. So we are still, let's go ahead and go over here, config T interface virtual template 8 type tunnel shutdown, and then let's just go ahead and do no shutdown. It came back up. This one is still down. Show IP interface brief. It is down. Show run section. It's going to do the pipe section. And we want to do crypto. Local address is now good. Pre-share key, CCMP security. Right, that's what we have. This one, local template 8, transport set, profile. Let's go ahead and end that show. What can we do? Something is bad. Let's see if we do a debug, crypto, IKEv2, and turn on IKEv2 on all, so we can turn it off, and let's see what's going on. So, as you can see right here, it fell to matching a policy. So the policy is not matching. Fail to find a matching policy. So the policy um, is not matching. So let's go ahead. This is really interesting. So if you do a show crypto IKEv2 policy, we have the default policy. Okay, let's go over here. Show crypto IKEv2 policy. So for the default policy, any, and default. Any, and default. How is it not matching a policy? Um, let's go ahead and do show crypto IKEv2 proposal. Okay. Show IKEv2, show crypto IKEv2 proposal. So this one should work. Why isn't it taking the default proposal? Maybe because it is trying to take this one. Okay. So what we could do is let's go ahead and just configure the proposal um, for this. So if we do a show run pipe, it's going to be section, and we're going to be saying IKEv2. And let's go ahead and get that IKEv2. Has to be probably on top. Yep, proposal, IKEv2 proposal, SVTI, and this one right here. So let's go ahead and propose this. Let's go ahead and go to over here and go ahead and configure this as DVTI and DVTI and DVTI. Let's go ahead and configure this. Copy. Go to the hub config T. Go ahead to router 1, config T. Okay, interface tunnel 8. Let's go ahead and shut it down. Interface virtual template 8 type tunnel. Shut down. No shutdown. No shutdown. And there we go. So it was because of the proposal. So we need to add that proposal. It did not take the default proposal. Good. So we were able to debug. You saw how to do all of that. So now we have a EIGRP relationship. We have the virtual access interface. If you do end show IP interface brief, you're going to see that we have a virtual access. Good. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. We have two EIGRP neighbors. This one is for the SVTI, and this one is for the DVTI, or the dynamic virtual interface. As you can see right here, virtual interface 1. So that's good. So now let's go ahead and configure router 2. And we're just going to um, paste everything, config T. And we need to change a couple stuff. From over here, destination, IPSec, all of that stays the same. This one is going to be changed to 2.2.2.2. This one is going to stay as 20 um, because it was supposed to be 10, and we left it as 20 for router 1, but it's supposed to be 10. But for router 2, it is 20, so that's correct. So all of the rest stays the same. Control C, paste everything in there. Boom. Let's go into the hub. You can see now that we have another neighbor relationship and a virtual access to. So if we do show IP EIGRP neighbors, you can see on virtual interface 2, we have router 2. Good. Now let's go ahead and configure router 3, which has this IP address, which is the IP address of loopback 0. This one has to be changed to 30, and everything stays the same, guys. Right? 30. So everything stays the same. Router 3, config T. ISA campus on. Virtual interface 3 is up. The neighbor 3 is up. So let's go ahead and do a show IP EIGRP neighbors. There we go. Or my 3 neighbors. Good. Let's go ahead and do a show crypto IKEv2 SA. You can see all my IKEv2 SA tunnels. You can see that I have tunnel to the 30.1.1.1, which is this one is for the SVTI. This ones over here are for tunnel 1, for router 1, router 3, and router 4. As you can see right here, the remote 192.1.30.1, which is router 3. The other remote 192.1.10.1, which is router 1, and then 192.1.20.1, which is router 2. If we do a show IPSec SA, you can see all the SAs in there. So everything is working the way we wanted it. So that's good. Also for router 3, if we do to router EIGRP 8, and if we do the network of 10.10.30.0, we need to add the other one in here, that 255, which is the local. So now if we go over here and do show IP route, you can see that we have route, EIGRP route to the one network via the virtual access 1, which is from the virtual template, right? And this one is for router 1. This one is for router 2 via the virtual access 2. Another one, we are virtual access 3. 4 via tunnel 4, which is the SVTI. As you can see, the difference between the SVTI and the virtual template, right? So from the virtual template, you're able to create multiple virtual access, and from the DMV, this is for the DVTI, and from the SVTI, you are only able to do one, because if you want to configure another one, you have to get on it on another physical interface. And then we have 10.10.10.3.0, which is for router 3 local, um, for the local network. We have 3.3.3.3, right? Because it's router 3, and it's going via virtual access 3, just the same as this one, 3.3.3.3. Okay. Um, what else I can show you? I think that's about it, guys. So we did configure SVTI with IKEv version 2, which was great. Um, which was this one right here. We also configured DVTI, and you saw the difference between DVTI and SVTI. So SVTI, you are allowed to configure one VPN tunnel per one interface, and for DVTI, you're able to configure multiple VPN tunnels per interface. So that is the difference between them. But the only downside of DVTI is that there is no spoke-to-spoke communication. So if the hub goes down, everything goes out, the entire network goes down. Therefore, that's why DMVPN Phase version 3 is a lot better, because in DMVPN Phase version 3, after all the routers have formed a spoke-to-spoke communication, we don't need to use the hub anymore. So if the hub goes down, we'll still have that spoke-to-spoke communication between the other routers. Okay? So this set for this video was a little bit long video because we had to troubleshoot. At least we were able to find what was wrong with it, which was the proposal and the policy. So this is it for this video, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and also follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips if you have a Twitter account. If you don't have a Twitter account, go ahead and create a Twitter account, guys. We have lots of fun over here. And then follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye, and I love you. Bye.